Good morning. My name is Jen, and I will be participating in First Form's 2019 Fall Sprint Challenge. This is a little bit about my background with my weight struggle and choosing a healthier lifestyle. So, my earliest memories of being the fat girl started in fourth grade. And the reason I say that is because I remember looking back at that school picture growing up. I was wearing a sailor dress. It was navy with red around the collar, and looking at my face and thinking, you look like one big butterball, one big fat turkey. Not sure what happened between my third and fourth grade year. I tend to block out a lot of my childhood memories, but I guarantee it's because that's how I was dealing with my emotions. I'm an emotional eater. I am and will always be. So, growing up though, as the fat kid, my grandma would always say to me, honey, it's okay, it's just baby fat. Well, when does it stop being baby fat and become a weight issue? In middle school, that's when we start liking boys and we start caring about what we look like and how we dress. I wasn't obese, but I was still the fat girl. And I had a friend, she was my best friend at the time. She was into boys. She liked what she looked like, how she dressed, and she took very good care of herself even then. And I think I complained to her about being a little overweight. And one time I was eating a Snicker bar, and she had said to me, well, how are you going to lose weight if you eat like that, if you eat stuff like that? Real snotty, and I remember as I took a bite of that, I felt ashamed. Starting in 7th or 8th grade, you're ashamed of eating. All right, so move on into high school. As most girls are probably size 6 and 8 back then. That was, 1989. Now they're a lot smaller. But I was probably a 12, 14. So I was a size or 2 bigger than most girls. Still not horrible, but in my mind, I was gigantic. And I did pretty well holding off my weight in high school. I still never thought I was pretty enough, good enough. I didn't really date much because I think the struggle inside was that they would never find me truly pretty enough. And then when I did like someone, my friend, the one from middle school, would find a way so they would notice her more, and she'd end up dating them. Well, why not? She was the thin one, the pretty one. Okay, so I get into college. I have a little more confidence. I move away. I enjoy myself. I wouldn't say I gained the freshman 15, but I did gain a few pounds. Still never more than a size 14, which is today average. I come home and I get married. And I have my first son in 1996. I gained, 50 pounds with him. Started to lose it, and then I think 3 months later I was pregnant for my second son. So Ryan was born in October. So yeah, by February I was pregnant for my second son. And as I've said before, I'm an emotional eater. At that time I was pregnant. My ex-husband and I, it just wasn't a good match. We were constantly fighting. We were stressed. I was an at-home mom. I didn't have any outlets. My dad was dying. He ended up dying in January. So I was dealing with the emotions of losing my father in 1997. We almost lost our house to foreclosure. And I was trying to take care of my newborn. So there were just so many emotional things going on in my life in 1997 when I was pregnant for my second son. And I actually gained probably 80 pounds with him. And I was just an emotional mess the whole time I was pregnant with him. I can remember going to the doctors and stopping as soon as the appointment was done for a fudge round and a 32-ounce Fountain Mountain Dew. I was probably, that was like 3 or 4 days a week. I would try to find an excuse to run to the store so I could get a fudge round and a Mountain Dew. So he was born November of 97. And by, fall of 98, I was pregnant again. I still hadn't lost the 80 pounds from my other son. So at this time, I was weighing 190 to 200 pounds, 220. We didn't have the money, so I really didn't have any clothes. And at that time, when you're that large, there wasn't a lot to choose from. So I was constantly in sweats or stretchy pants. I didn't take care of myself physically. I didn't wear makeup. My hair was always a mess. I was either in men's clothes or in sweatpants. I kept making excuses. Well, I'm comfortable with who I am. But down deep, I was very depressed, very angry. So my youngest was born in May of 99. I gained the typical pounds with him. Okay, so I had 3 kids in 3 years. And so, back then my excuse when I was a kid was it was baby fat. Now, fast forward to having 3 kids in 3 years, people were telling me, it's okay, your body didn't have time to rest. Well, no, the truth is, I didn't know how to not eat that fudge round or drink 3 32 ounces of Mountain Dew a day. And as my kids were growing up, my ex-husband and I were constantly at each other's throat. I don't know how many times I heard I wasn't good enough. I was fat. I was ugly. No one would ever want me. And things are said when you're really fighting about other issues. But I've always dealt with my weight, and that just struck a big nerve. In 2009, I remember we were fighting about something, and I thought to myself, I've had enough. I've just had enough. I need to change. So in March of 2009, I made a call to my friend who was living in the Cayman Islands, and I said, can I come down and visit? She's like, absolutely, because we went to college together. So then and there I made the decision, I'm done, I'm going to make a change. And I slowly started walking. We lived out in the country. We had no money. Literally no money. So I slowly started walking. I walked half a mile. Remember, I'm 220 pounds. I didn't have any real tennis shoes. I think I was wearing the same tennis shoes I'd had for 3 years, and they were the only pair of shoes I had. So I walked a half mile, and I did that for about 2 months. I moved it to a mile, and then I moved it to 3 miles. And then I had a friend who had a bike, and I asked him if I could borrow it. He said yes. So my walking became biking, and I started biking 1 mile, then 2 miles. And I think I got up to biking 15 to 20 miles a day. And so my daily routine would be, I would come home from work. I would make my family their meal. Of course, they were thin. They didn't have to worry. I would cook it for them. They would eat. I'd serve it, I'd go do my exercise, come back. They would have eaten. I've cleaned up the kitchen. I made myself something to eat. Because I could not eat what they ate. You know, it's full of butter and cream and fat. And I needed to control what I ate and the amount I ate. Fast forward to October, the month I went to the Cayman Islands. This is where I'm very proud of myself. From March to October, doing it on my own, I went from a size 20, 22 to a 10. I don't necessarily know how much I dropped in weight, maybe 60 pounds, but I made that change. And I started to have confidence in myself again, strength. I went on my trip, had an amazing time. Amazing time. It was just me. I needed it. I worked for it. I had to have that goal. And I think that's what made the difference, is that I had the goal. I didn't want to go to the Cayman Islands and be the beached whale. I just didn't. So I can remember at work passing on the donuts, passing on the potlucks, not going out to eat, just making better choices. And then when I came back, my ex-husband was like, you look good, you did this. He started appreciating me more, which made me angry. He couldn't appreciate me at my worst. Why does he think I want him to appreciate me now? So we divorced a few years later, and I've been on my own since then. My weight's fluctuated some, on and off. In 2015, I believe I was at the lowest weight at 154. According to MyFitnessPal, that's my lowest weight. But I've fluctuated. So when I started the First Form summer sprint, I got on the scale and I was at 175. Not quite as heavy as I had been in the last few years, but still one of the heaviest weights I've been in since 2009. And for the last year, I've been trying to lose weight. I work out 5 days a week. I actually refused, and money was tight once I got divorced, but I refused to give up my gym membership. In fact, I got a job there in the evenings to help pay for my membership. So, because I refused to give that up. That working out not only helps me physically, but it's good for me mentally. So, I'm all over the board. Sorry about that. So when Heather put on her Instagram stories about the challenge, I thought to myself, maybe that's exactly what I need. I mean, in 2009, I needed that trip to the Cayman Islands to motivate me to stop with excuses and make a lifestyle change. So, you know, I'm this type that I'm not OCD about much, but when it comes to challenges, I tend to be. So I joined the challenge, weighed in at 175, and made the decision then and there to stop the excuses. Every Sunday I meal prepped, and I got my friend to join me. I worked out 5 days a week. I set my alarm every day for 3:15, well, Monday through Friday. I'm up by 3:15. I'm to the gym by 4. I work out Monday through Friday. I rarely find excuses. And then on the weekend, I would try to take at least one day and go for a walk with the neighbor's dog or maybe a hike. So in that in the summer sprint, I lost 15 pounds, at least 12 inches. I didn't really start measuring my inches right away, so I can't tell you exactly. But I will tell you, I got into a pair of jeans that I never thought I'd be able to wear. My confidence came back. And when I look at like my day 5 picture to the last picture for the challenge, and the difference, especially in my back, the fat rolls were gone. I never thought I looked as bad as my pictures show. Again, what I see in the mirror is not necessarily the truth, I guess. My eyes play tricks. But so every week, I haven't stopped working towards my goals. And every week I do my check-in picture just so I can keep track. And I tell people how important it is, because I don't think we really see. And I have friends around me, and one in particular who works out with me daily, and God, I love her. She's a great person, and she wants to make the change. And she has said to me, I need to make a change, you know, this and that. And I said, okay. Well, and then she'll find an excuse. She didn't come to the gym to work out, or she ate out, and I'm like, you have to stop the excuses. That's basically, it all falls down to this: stop the excuses. If you want it bad enough, you'll work for it. It's not easy. During the sprint challenge for the summer, I skipped 2 potlucks at work, and we're good cooks at work. I even cooked for the potluck. Didn't like the spoon, but I cooked for it, but I didn't eat it. I didn't eat out if I went on a date. I tried to make wise choice, and then I would only eat a portion of it. If I went out over to my friends who were having a cookout, I would take my own food with me. And it became easier. And I think that, I don't know, I guess it's helped me, and it's helped motivate other people, because if I can do it at 46 years of age, by God, my friends that are younger can do it. And in fact, I had the trainer at the gym say, because of the difference that my form has made in the last 10 weeks, that it's motivated her to track her food better, to skip the excuses. And if I can motivate one person or inspire one person, that's all I want. That's all I want. Because you know what? No matter what anyone says, I don't care what you say when you're larger. I'm confident in myself. I'm happy with myself. Down deep, you are not. I do not care what anyone says. They can argue with me till they're blue in the face. I've been there. And I used to say, I know who I am. I'm a good person. It's okay that I'm heavy, that I'm unhealthy. No. If I were really honest with myself and with you, I'd say that was a lie. We're truly not happy with ourselves when we're larger and we're unhealthy. So, something else I'm really excited about, or I'm very proud of, is that my middle son, who struggled with weight, who's always struggled with weight, dropped his weight in months so he could join the Marine Corps. So he's in the Marine Corps, and when he's home on leave, one thing that we do together is we go to the gym. We lift together. 15 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do that with them. I barely could play outside in the snow with them. I do it because I love my kids, but I couldn't enjoy the activities as much as I wanted to. So now I'm able to go to the gym, lift. In fact, one day I kind of had to show them how to do something in the gym. How cool is that? So anyway, I'm looking forward to the fall challenge, and I'm ready to give it 110%, because I will win this challenge. I think I'm ready for it. I have my food. I know what works for me. I'm ready, and I'm going to show you.